Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. We post an interview with an amazing Canadian each weekday for your daily inspiration. Today, I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, Dave Kennedy. Dave was born in Aberdeen, a small city on the northeast coast of Scotland. It's also called Granite City. All the buildings were made from a white granite that was quarried nearby. Must be beautiful if it's all white. Dave is a proud father of his daughter, Lauren, who is living in the UK. She works with BP in Sunbury in southwest London and gave birth to Dave's first grandchild, Brody, in March 2019. So nice. Besides his loved ones, Dave is extremely passionate about traveling to new countries and exploring new cultures. He has a very curious mind. He's visited 73 countries, mostly for business, however, some for pleasure too. He's also lived in 7 different countries as a result of his very successful career. I said that, he didn't, but it has been. And he loves it. Friends, you'll find his full bio attached. Dave, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Catherine. It's always good to meet with you.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same. Are you ready for the questions that we sent you?
Sure. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So the first one being the most challenging times that you've had in the last few months.
That's an absolutely great question. I think the COVID-19 has probably been one of the biggest challenges throughout my whole career. And the reason for it being a major challenge is it's completely different to anything we've ever experienced. None of the governments were totally prepared for it. The health services in each of those governments were not always prepared for it. And so there was no rule book, or there was no experience to fall back on. It was kind of taking it head on and using experience from similar type deals to prepare for business as usual. Fortunately, oil and gas was regarded by most countries as being an essential business. So it was continuing on here in Canada, was regarded in the United States as well. So we were very fortunate in that aspect, but it was a major shift on what do we do now, guys? Called in leadership, expertise. Okay, the governments tried to help as much as they could, but they weren't always in sync. But so basically, it called on leaders to be able to say, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. Let's get after it.
Wow. And I've heard that you guys have handled it very well and been able to weather the storm. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're part of Tundra Process Solutions SSI Lift, and with the management team of Tundra Process Solutions, we had weekly meetings with the management team every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for about 1 hour. Okay, how do we prepare? What do we do? What about travel? What about policies? So we tried to go through every possible scenario. A, how to protect our own people. A, continuity of the business. And how to continue to deal with clients through this challenging times. I think the model that Tundra came up with was very innovative, and everybody was working from home pretty quick. We prepared everybody to be able to do that. Unfortunately, the facility we have for manufacturing as well as the warehouse, you can't do those things remotely. You have to be there. But we prepared everybody to be safe during those periods while continuing to do the business. We also took the kind of wow experience. How do you deal with clients during this time? Because it's different for them as well. So we tried to make it, okay, even though these are unprecedented times, everyone's working from home, we wanted to continue to provide wow service to these people. Doesn't matter what this was. And sometimes it was, here's a small gift, thank you very much for your business. And we would hand deliver it to their home address. And that was not from UPS or FedEx, it was from us. We would have our own people hand deliver those, say, thank you very much for still sticking with us. So we took a great approach. We prepared for everything. It was not a single person dealing with it. Iggy Domogalski was the CEO of Tundra. Along with the rest of his management team, we all prepared and said, okay, we're going to take this on. It was a collective decision.
That's awesome. I bet everybody felt a ton of love. And what a great way to connect with clients during this time. Well done.
Yeah, we went about a year ago. We went and visited Zappos down in Las Vegas during a team building weekend, and we tried to emulate a lot of what the Zappos model was with regards to making them say, "Wow." You want it to be an experience. You don't want it to be just business as usual. We are no longer just a supplier of equipment. We want everybody to have a pleasurable experience of dealing with us, make it different to what they've been used to. And I think pretty much we've succeeded. Tundra and SSI have come through this and will be much stronger than we were before. I think I sat in several forums during the COVID crisis, and the biggest issue that came up was trust of personnel whilst they were working from home. We never saw this in Tundra or SSI. We fully trust them. We trusted them before COVID, and so why would you not trust them after COVID or during COVID? And I was quite surprised that that was never the issue we had. We trusted everybody to do the right thing. In fact, they worked harder than before. I was getting emails at 10 o'clock at night from personnel I never did. So they were taking advantage and working different hours to suit themselves. So it was great.
That's awesome. And I know the employees love working there. So what a great culture.
Yeah, the culture is very evident when you come here. It was the first thing I did when I first visited Tundra. The first thing I noticed was that culture.
Yeah, so true. It's all the way through, you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. And the three things that you'd like to share with the audience today?
I think, the COVID crisis, what it showed for companies like ourselves was we can be different, and we acted differently during this. And we're going to come out of this much, much stronger. I was really surprised how well both the Tundra and SSI team rallied around the cause, rallied around what we were trying to do, and we've come out of this a lot stronger than we ever did before. And that's without a rule book. We had nothing to go on. This was making up as we went along. It was trying to do the right thing, continue to deal with clients and make stronger connections. So we came out of this much stronger than we had before. We in SSI rely a lot on United States and South America for our business. And throughout that whole time, we never actually missed a beat in terms of using technology to continue our business. We actually used augmented reality to do an install in Colombia. So we had two of our guys working with them to install the equipment correctly remotely, so 6,000 miles away, and we did it successfully over a 3-day period.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. Technology's there, why not use it, right?
Why not? And you were not using it before COVID?
No, we weren't actually. We had been looking at it actually, and COVID drove it because we were not allowed to fly to Colombia. So it forced us to use this technology, but we had been looking at how can we use this technology for remote locations and, having one of our guys talk to somebody while they were at the well location. So it was fortunate that COVID allowed us to not only move into using these technologies, but to take full advantage of them.
That's so cool. Well done.
Okay. Second thing, I haven't been in an airplane now for probably 6-7 months, which is really unusual for me throughout my career. And you know what? I don't miss it. And working from home, I was working here, I'm working from home constantly, but you get used to working from home and you do things differently to what you did. I always thought there'd be loads of distractions, everything else. Quite the opposite is you're just as focused as you are within the office itself. So that was another thing that surprised me is you adapt to new environments, and the successful companies are the ones that always adapt.
I agree. Excellent. Anything else?
And the final thing was I haven't been back home to the UK for a while, so I used to see my daughter and family using media like Zoom, but I physically haven't been back. So I'm looking forward to getting back there at some point whenever the borders open back up. But this is the way of the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, you must miss them terribly, especially cute little Brody.
Yeah, he's starting to walk now. I've seen videos of him, and
Aw,
every time we have Zoom meetings, he constantly tries to touch the phone and cuts us off. Um, but yeah, and seeing him in real life is different than seeing him in Zoom. So
for sure. Aw. And how about your good news or legacy story that you'd like to leave us with?
we've been very successful in the United States, and we've signed up for some big agreements with major oil companies and miners. So we just this week been told that we're going to be awarded more units in the Permian Basin in Texas with an existing client that we work with in Bakken. So the success that we've had with Bakken is replicated now for their own operations in the Permians, which is great because we've established ourselves in Texas as well. So that was a good news story that we had just this morning, actually. So it was great.
That's awesome. That is so wonderful. Excellent. And tell us a little bit about your work with the American Chamber.
Yeah, I was approached by your good self, is the chairman, and asked if I'd like to be in the board of the American Chamber of Commerce. Quite apropos, because in my previous life, having worked overseas with American companies, two American companies, we always used the American Chamber of Commerce in whichever country I was in. So Cairo in Egypt, Bucharest in Romania. And so I was quite happy to accept this for Calgary, the new resurrected American Chamber West. I was quite happy to participate because I saw the benefit of working with the American Chamber has in remote locations. So in a mature area like Calgary, working with United States, working with other governments, I was quite happy to take this on. And in this short period this has been working, things have been going very, very well with it under your leadership. So we thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Dave. And you're handling our government relations.
Yep. Yeah, I had to think about that one for a while, but yeah, dealing with governments is exceptionally important because most people don't realize they have a lot of resource that they're willing to give because the taxpayers are already paying for this.
Yeah.
They're willing to give it through their embassies overseas, to give advice on how to do business, and they're always there to help. It's not just about language or culture or corruption. It's about how do we help a Canadian company do well in Romania or Brazil or Colombia, wherever else. And their embassies are really helpful in doing this. So working with the governments, having a great relationship is very beneficial to any company.
Oh, I bet. Well, it's very new to me, and I'm really delighted that you're leading that piece. Very important piece.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you so much for joining us today. I know your time is precious. You're so busy. I really
No, I
appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, Catherine. As I say, it's always a pleasure to meet with you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Dave. Everybody, that was my dear friend, Dave Kennedy. Look him up and check out Tundra and SSI Systems. They all rock. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.